Hello, everybody. How you doing? My name is Lelon Tlovu Wagajeni. Welcome to the first episode of Game Changers. You know, you guys, we started this one-woman show podcast and I'm just sitting in front of a couch at home and I'm talking. And then eventually I said, you know what? It's time to change the game, and get into a podcast where I speak to some of the people that I look up to. And in business, the social space, this episode is called Defining Success from A to B. And I'm encouraging you guys to get involved in this episode. I've got Gwena Headbush. How you doing, Gwena?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Gwena is a co-founder of a company called Bright Capital, which obviously
Bright On Capital.
Can you please tell us a bit about that while you're at it?
So Brighton's been around since about 2015. It was co-founded by myself and my cousin. We are from PE. So we are busy trying to grow this online lending business.
What fueled that? What
fuels us is that? Basically my co-founder, our partner, is has been in the finance industry for over 15 years as well. And myself, I've been in operations and technology for around the same time. But how the idea came up is that in finance, he found that there are a lot of businesses that are looking for funding, but because of the bank's criteria, and we know if you are a business looking for funding, you'll find, especially if you're working for certain corporates, there's what they call ESD. So if you can get access to ESD, if you're lucky, they're able to get funding there, but they also have some rather strict criteria. So we try to find and build a business model that can try and address some of the challenges that these small businesses are facing, to see whether or not we can assist with these SMEs. We obviously, like I said, we deal with SMEs that have found opportunities to deliver on a service. Mm-hmm. So we don't do everything as small business finance, but when it comes to that particular sphere, that's what we're trying to find, ways to innovate ways and find a business model that can try and help those entities to deliver on those products, because they've done a lot of work to engage with those government entities, those corporates, and become a supplier. So the last thing you want now, you receive your purchase order and you don't have money to be able to deliver. So that's where we come in to try and assist those businesses.
And when did you start this?
Say again?
When did you start this?
We started the business in 2015. So my cousin had this idea about how we can find this amazing way to find businesses that don't get approved for funding, but I want to do it online. We need an online solution so it's easy to access, it's easy for people to access the funding, which is where he brought me in, and together we've been just kind of trying to build this online platform where SMEs can just register, apply, and then we assist them to deliver their goods and get that funding.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got Miss Kay Munarang. Kay Munarang is from K Consulting. She owns a real estate firm. I would like her to tell us herself, how did this come up? You started during lockdown. Or this passion started during lockdown, yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kay. I was going to twang, but I'm a bit tired, but you are. My name is Kay Katleho Munarang. I'm the CEO and founder of K Property Consultants. I have been in the real estate market for about 5-6 years. But my biggest breakthrough was in 2020 lockdown, I know. That's when I registered my own company, because I sat there and I'm like, why am I feeling sorry for myself? COVID is not going anywhere. I know I'm not selling any properties. I know they are not, how the market is. How the market was during lockdown. And I started advising people on property. I started talking about property for about 2 to 5 minutes. And in that process, I realized that a lot of people are lazy. Because literally when someone would ask me a question I don't know or I don't have experience in, I would literally Google. I would Google the answers. I would Google go on YouTube and see people's experiences and then share. And I started talking more on property. The more I talk to people about property, the more experienced I gain, in fact. And when I realized that people always come to me, Kat, what I do, this is what I'm faced with, my family is fighting for this property, and I got tired of giving free advice. And I started charging. And that's how I started making more money.
Do you have realtors that are working under K Consulting?
We have realtors that are working under Ricky Vango Properties that I work with. So K Property Consultant is solely consulting, right? So I'm struggling with this dispute, I'm struggling with that in terms of law, I help with that, and I refer you to the right people. And if you want to be in the real estate market, then I speak with one of the people that I work with, Ricky Vango Properties, the principal. And yeah, that's how we have realtors, and those realtors actually also make money for me because I get a portion of it.
So you have a history, you started as a
real estate agent who lied and said that I have a car. And I lied and I said, and they asked me, okay, so for this market, you need a laptop. And I said, I have. And they said, a car. And I said, it's a family car. You know, everyone uses it. But I'm like the sole owner of the car. And I lied. And they said, okay, shop, get onto it. And then the first 4 or 5 months.
How did you fund it though?
I did not sell anything.
Really?
First 4 or 5 months, I did not sell anything. It was tough, guys. It was tough. And I remember one of the principals seeing me walking down, and she said, what happened to your car? And I said, family drama. You know? But it was tough. Yeah. And I remember one morning I had 50 Rand to get me to 4A's to do my cold calling because it's commission based. But I didn't have money to go back home. And I said, you know what? Let me show up. I don't know how I'll do this, but let me just show up. And I showed up, but it was raining. It was tough. I was already pumped. And because it's raining, guys, it was tough there when I was walking down, right? And I said, God, nope. This month, around this date, please give me a car. Yeah, and that's how I sold my first property.
We'll get more into that. Yeah. I want to introduce V. Viola Baxter is her stage name. Her real name is Valencia Mkambule. I don't know why she likes Viola Baxter. Anyways, V is an author and a publisher, but you also have studied something in the medicine or in the medical field?
Medical field. I have specialized in analyzing the relationship between the immune system and blood, being blood cells, blood proteins, anything that is found in blood. So I check blood before it goes out. My specialty is it. Before it goes out to a patient, I try and determine if the patient will not reject the transfusion. Yes, that's my day job. And then how Viola came to be. It's appropriate for you to say Viola because we are on the stage. Right, so I just created this pen name for writing my first book, which was to educate children about blood. It's called All About Our Blood, right? So after that, having published my first book, having learned the process of publishing, and then I also learned about toys, kids' toys. I especially have a desire to help our kids, especially in the Black community, experience learning in a not so painful way. I want them to go about their life and learn in the process. I'm not as smart as Gwena because I see Gwena gives you the money, you go do the work for him. So I'm still a one-woman show at this particular time. I've published quite a number of my own books, and when I handled yours, it was the first time that I did it for a client. And thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you for doing it. Well, I'm more interested in how you guys define success. Gwena, especially you, because you come from, is it a telecoms background?
Yes, I come from IT/telecoms background. So in varsity, I was lucky to get the opportunity to study in the US. So I studied IT. When I came back is when iBurst, I don't know if those people know iBurst is when that started. So I was fortunate enough when that started, I was one of the early employees that worked there. So I was more in the operational side of things there when it came to telecoms. So that's basically my background. So because of I love IT, technology, when this opportunity came through, or this idea came through, then managing and running the operational IT side and developing that side of the business was something that I really enjoy. So for success for me, I think obviously it's different for everyone.
Yes.
But I think if you are fortunate enough to do something every day that you enjoy doing, is a huge part of success. But the cherry on top is if it makes a lot of money. So I think that is success. But the first part is actually liking what you wake up and go do on a daily basis. So if you are fortunate to do that, then go ahead and do that. Then you are living a successful life by my standards. Yeah.
You know, South Africans, I think most South Africans do want to be successful. I mean, who doesn't want to be successful, right? And how they define success is different. Most people would look at you and say, well, he comes from, a telecoms background, privileged. What would you say about that?
You are not lying. I do. I do come from a somewhat privileged background, a fortunate background, but for everyone and anyone, it is difficult. I think people who do come from a privileged background, actually I saw a thing about on Twitter the other day about people sending their kids to private school. Like, is it worth paying all that money? Because at the end of the day, we all write the same matric exams, right?
I usually say most of the time, especially if you go to varsity, there's no private school varsity.
Exactly.
Yes.
But where it kicks in now is when you're looking for that job.
Yes.
Because your friend's dad owns this other corporate on that other side, or has access to certain funds, and it gives you a leg forward. As much as it gives you a leg forward, you have to bust your ass to try and make whatever it is you're trying to do work. And as you find as an entrepreneur, you'll find that even if you're lucky and you raise money from government entity, you're able to get your loan from the bank, it doesn't guarantee your business from succeeding. It doesn't guarantee your business from doing well. So it doesn't matter the source of money. If you're lucky to get that money, to get that opportunity to start working, what do you do with it? And will you make that work? Will it work out? So whether you're coming from a privileged background or a struggling background, however you want to define it, Oksalayo, you have to work hard. I don't care where you're coming from, you have to work hard. You have to wake up early, you go to bed late, and you try to meet as many people as possible, and try to meet people that you can work with, that you are aligned as far as what it is you are trying to achieve, where what they are trying to achieve in is some way aligned to what you are doing. And if you're able to meet those kind of people and network with people like that, and you're fortunate, then they can help you, you can help them, and you can grow from there if you're lucky.
In this day and age, would you say connections is more important than education?
I wouldn't say more important. They're extremely important because a connection will get you in the door. Education will help you deliver what it is you need to deliver. Because if you don't know about finance, someone giving you, or any kind of background, real estate, for instance, someone will get you that job. But if you don't know anything about it, then you're just kind of stuck and you're lost. So if you have the education, then those connections are a gold mine. But if you don't have the education and you've got tons of connections, people won't know where to put you. They won't know where to connect you to because they don't know what you do. You have to have an education or experience or a background to say, this is who I am, this is what I do. And then people, when you are networking, talking to people, they will know how to connect you so that you can make money and they can make money. Because people try and say, okay, cool, if I do this thing for Gwena, how do I make money?
Exactly.
And can Gwena actually do this thing? Because I don't want to put Gwena there. He messes up. Now he's going to get a bad name and give me a bad name because I introduced him to some people. So education, extremely important. But the gold mine, I think, is that those connections.
So what do you think about AI?
AI is definitely the way forward, depending on what it is you want to do. Much like any technology, it is there to assist us make life easier. I don't think it's going to take over a whole lot of the way people are scared that it's going to take over everything and then people are just going to have nothing to do. I don't think that's going to happen. Much like technology, there's going to be new things to learn when it comes to AI, new opportunities when it comes to AI. What can it do? What can I make it do for my business? How can I make it grow my business or my personal life? How does it make things better? You know, but it's there to assist us. It's not going to start building websites or, you know, doing its own YouTube channel or doing, because AI can't engage. You know, people engage with each other. So it's there to help us. So in anything that you do, you can Google how AI can help you. But AI is not going to do the work for you. It's not going to do it for you. But I think it is the future. I think it is something that it will play a big role in a lot of industries. To as far as technology is concerned, it will play a big role in a lot of industries, even when it comes to social media and blogging and content creation.
A school essay using AI.
Exactly.
Like, AI, please help me write this and this. Do you think
you ask ChatGPT a question, it's gonna write a whole essay for you.
Yes.
But it's a very generic essay.
Yeah.
So as a teacher working with students your whole life, you'll know that there's something fishy here. There's something fishy. But as a student, you will type that thing, you'll ask the question on ChatGPT, then you'll review it and put it into your own words. And then that's how it makes life easier for the student, you know? So it can do that for everyone. It doesn't matter where you're sitting in whatever industry. There is something, if you have to write emails. So what a lot of things we do now is we use it for emails. Because we email a lot of clients. So now we're like, this client is upset. But I have to be like, you know, a business email. I can't just say, hi, when are you know? So now you ask ChatGPT, how do I just tell this client to go, you know, to go away in a nice way?
Yes.
And then ChatGPT will do the email, and then you go in and edit, you put the person's name, you put your name, and then you send it out.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. And there you go.
Okay. How's the property market now since after lockdown? Because I know during the lockdown it was way up there because of the rates.
I mean, now it's based on what I'm seeing. People go with what social media is saying. People go with what they see, right? I was giving one of my clients advice because she wanted to buy an investment property. But because I know she's my client and she likes things, she was saying, please look for something in Sunning Hill or Bryanston. And I asked why those areas if it's investment. And no, it's for my kids, right? So I can have something for them and I advised on township economy, right? I advised for her to get something, build rooms, and have that kind of investment. So I think now the most important thing is to know your biggest why in property. If you want to get property right now with these interesting climate economic conditions, you better know your biggest why. It can either make or break. You know, there's some people now that are making good property decisions in spite of what we are faced with, and there are some that are making terrible decisions. So it's a win-win. How's the property market? Well, it depends on the information that you have and the decisions that you make with the capital that you have.
Do you think building rooms in Ekasi is still an investment?
It depends, again, on location. I always talk about location. Someone will say, I'm going to get something Soweto or First Lotus because it's township, right? But not bearing in mind that where are the rooms? You need to have a perfect location. If I'm going to build Ekasi, then I know that I want it next to a mall because there are people that are traveling from the mall or whatever, you know, so I'm very precise on the perfect location. It's not because everyone is doing it Ekasi and it's working. It's people that are making the right decision in terms of location.
Is it working or does it look like it's working?
It looks like it's working for some, but with the papers that I'm seeing when the clients come to me, it works for the ones that are in the perfect location. So do your research in terms of how many people are in Soweto, how many people are in Tembisa, how many amenities are here, schools, before you make that kind of decision.
Would you advise someone to buy a property that maybe needs like, a TLC in a good location, give it good, TLC and resell it?
Yeah.
And continue doing that process as an investment versus building something in Ikasi and getting rooms?
I think for me, with experience and all, I think building something Ikasi and building from that, not building to just sell, but building for retention, right? So I think for me, it's important to know exactly how many rooms that you want, what is your end goal in that? You can't just say, I'm building rooms Ekasi because I want money. What is your goal? What is your end goal? How much do you want this at this time, at this place? And also you need to understand that property is a process. It's not an overnight success. So if you want to make it in property, you need to be willing to wait. Yeah.
I really think this building rooms Ekasi is a waste of time.
Yeah.
I really do. I would never advise any of my clients to buy a house and build the rooms.
Why would that come from a place of them not wanting to settle, or would it be from a place of you saying that township economy is not growing?
Not really about township economy, but would move for the client itself because they want to invest.
Yeah.
So, I feel like how long is it going to take for you to get a return? What about the maintaining of the property?
Yeah. Well, there's a good balance because, there are also students, like in Soweto, right? Guna UJ campus next to Maponya Mall. That's capital for you. I understand that you're saying that they want to invest, but for what? Do they want to invest because bafuna ukuhlala in the property, or they want to invest because in the future, umntana ukhulile, they're 21, and they can decide to sell that property, Ekasi or whatever, and will have that rental income paying the fees for their kids. So it depends on what exactly. So it's not an investment because they want to live in it, or it's an investment because they're that, this and that. But with the clients that I've worked with and with what I've seen, it's actually working for the clients that I deal with. It's actually working for them because they're not living in the properties. They doing that so that they can, patch up, how we say it, in certain areas in their lives.
What would you say about that, Bena?
When it comes to investment, on that, I'm pretty much on the same page. It really depends on what's the purpose and the reason that you want to invest in that particular property. In the township, we know a lot of people do the back room and rent out the back room. I know a lot of people do it because so it's additional income. It's additional income for the household, for the family that lives on the property. So it will help for maintenance or whatever the case may be. So if you don't live in township, you want to invest in a property, what Uke is saying is definitely good reasons or good examples as to why somebody would do that, yeah.
Okay. V, I know you are a publisher and an author, and you're also in medicine, but I also know that you're also a property investor. How is it working for you?
Not good at all.
How so?
I bought into a place that is very close to the mall, very close to schools. I thought it was a good investment. I lived there for a while. But then, with body corporates and all those complications, we found that some owners don't take care of their property, and overall the place is not appealing and it's difficult to sell. And my thing was, keep it for 10 years, sell it when I no longer need it. Or if I think about the prospect of keeping it for another 10 years and using it later on, I think it will be run down by that. And we've done everything we can. We've charged people. It's complicated. That's why I'm listening like, maybe I should have saved money for the cement. Yeah. So, but maybe.
So, in a nutshell, Gwenna, how do you think you are changing the game in your space, in your field?
What I'm trying to do is just give small businesses a chance. Just to give them a chance, and I think we've done that quite a bit, is to give small businesses a chance to be successful, to help them grow. So part of the things, over and above just lending out money, what we try to do is to educate our clients about the importance of reporting. Just to say, because if you've ever tried going to a bank, they're going to say, okay, cool, where are your management accounts? Where are this? Where are that? And we know a lot of small businesses don't do that. And then also a lot of us have judgments, because as an entrepreneur, you try to do this and that, it doesn't work out, and then you get blacklisted for whatever reason. So even though many of our clients are blacklisted, because we're registered NCR and FSP, we're not allowed to do reckless lending. So we can't just lend to people because they have judgments. But what we try to do is, one, educate them and get them to make payments, small payments towards those judgments, just to say, for us to say, okay, this particular person is willing to work towards settling that debt. And if they're willing to do that, we are willing to lend to them. Then over time, what will happen, you'll find that, one, they're getting finance to get their business running, and then they're able to earn an income. At the same time, we are also enforcing them to make payment to that creditor who know that debt, whatever the case may be, and is getting their credit into a better place. So you'll find after a year, 2 years, depending how much it is they have to settle, they're in a better position now to go either increase the facility with Brighton Capital, or if they become huge, they can then go to a bank. So what we're trying to do within our processes of funding our SMEs, we also try to educate them in the importance of keeping a good credit record and making sure that they do make payments towards whatever debt they may have. Because we have to, we're trying to help them grow at the same time. We understand a lot of our clients are not going to be with us forever. They're not supposed to be with us forever, because the type of funding we provide is more expensive than the banks. But at the same time, there's a lot of purchase order funders there that are charging like 30%, 40%, and they take a lot of profit away from the small business. So we keep it around 8% charges for our clients when we charge them. So with the technology that we use, it helps us bring our margins down. So we have fewer people in the office, and we try to use technology as much as possible. So we're trying to figure out what processes can AI help us make things easier internally. So quick turnaround for our clients, give them money so it's not costing a lot, because if our costs increase, we have to start charging our clients more, and we're trying to do our best to keep those costs down.
Who do you say no to?
Say again?
Who do you say no to?
Who do we say no to? So like I said, we are a FSP and NCR, so we get audited by them on an annual basis. So we are not allowed to do reckless lending. So if you do have judgments and things like that over a certain amount, for us it's 50,000. We generally don't finance you. If you are in debt review, that's an automatic no for all lenders. We're not allowed to lend out to someone that's in debt review. But the clients we do say yes to is mostly people that delivering to corporates and government, and you have delivered at least 2 or 3 orders, and you've made more than 250,000 in the last 12 months.
Okay, so you have to have done something for yourself.
You have to have done something.
Yeah.
So just to give us a little bit of ease to say, okay, you actually know how to submit an invoice and get paid, because we bank on you getting paid. If you don't get paid, then we don't get paid.
Yeah.
So we have to show us at least 2-3 times in the last year to say, I have actually submitted an invoice. I know how to submit an invoice, because you'd be surprised how many people don't know how to invoice. So I have submitted an invoice and I have received payment from my client. And that's basically gives us a little bit of peace of mind, And then obviously we do our standard credit checks, but we're not as strict as some people, but we have to at least, be responsible in the way we lend out our money. Yeah.
And Kate, do you think real estate is for everyone? Have you ever got the question, how can I be a realtor? How can I be a realtor?
I get that question all the time, and I laugh, Shem, because I'm like, if only you knew how tough it is, But there's a question that you asked Gwen and now, and you said earlier, and you said, how do you define success, right? And for me, just so that I can answer that question, for me, it's just the freedom from things and freedom from people. Because if you are in bondage of what people say and what people think and things, then you'll find yourself in cycles, and you find yourself doing things for show and tell, right? So if you want to become a real estate agent, and this is what I always tell them, that why, firstly, why do you want to be a real estate agent? No, it looks like it's fun. It looks like there's so much money. I also want to be on social media so that I can take pictures doing viewings. And I always say it's not about the viewings. It's not about looking good in your black and white dress or tie or whatever. But for long term, are you passionate about it? Why do you want to do it? What is, again, your end goal, So is it for show and tell? Or is it because you genuinely see,
someone,
you know what I mean? Or you want to make it, you want to build that kind of legacy for you. So I do get that question a lot of times. Do you want to be a real estate? I want to be a real estate. How can I do it? But before I can help someone do that, I always ask the relevant questions. Are you willing to stay for 6 months, 8 months without a salary because it's commission based? Are you willing to work your way up, and just attend such events? Because that's also how I got up, and that's also how I reached out to investors. That's how I even got our premises in Sunning Hill. It was these kind of events where I started networking and talking to people. So it's not about just wanting to be a real estate agent and making it. It's a process, and you have to be intentional about that process.
Okay. And how have you changed the game in your own life, in your own space?
In my own life, sure. I think everything that I said the other weekend, I was with my husband and I said, oh my gosh, everything that I said 2020 would happen is actually happening in my life, And I was saying that umlomo uyadala, whatever you say, whatever you speak concerning your life, you become, So I've realized that in my life, there are certain things that I've spoken out of ignorance, out of frustration, and I saw them like coming to pass. I was like, God forbid. What? And I started praying about that. And there are also certain things that I've said I want to see in my life, and they have manifested. So I've changed the game in my life by speaking life in my life and being intentional so that the next person sees, if Kat could do this, because one thing, people have seen me struggle. Yeah. People have seen me with those pumps and those texts. People have seen me, and the young people would say, Kat, I also want to do what you do. I was like, yeah, you can do that, but be you in the process. So I've changed the game and showing people that it's possible. Yeah. There's nothing that is impossible. If, as far as you can see it, if you limit yourself, if you limit God, if you ask God for chocolates and he gives you 2 chocolates, he gives you Kit Kat or maybe a Cadbury slab, and you take one and you leave one, you've limited yourself. He gave you 2, so take them both and run with it, So whatever you say about your life will become if you are intentional. So I don't think, but I'm not where I know I ought to be, but I'm getting my way there. So I think changing the game is a process for me. And in changing the game, I'll take the people with me to change the game.
My sister always says, I'm done with the biscuits. I want the bakery and the baker now.
Come on.
So V, in your space, how do you feel like you've changed the game? And also I'm very interested, from, studying, you said how much time? 3 years?
It's
4 years. And completing that and then jumping from that and now becoming an author. And then you also you went into real estate, trying to invest. Then you also do something else. What else do you do? Because I feel like you are very, talented, multitask, and you're like a woman that likes extra streams of revenue.
I probably need help to streamline and pick one.
Yeah.
Because, like jack of all trade, you will master none. Right. So, but in my life, I've always felt balanced. So now I'm able, as a kid growing up, I'm able to do my science at school. I do religion. I'm still into Jesus. I know he's not as popular. It's okay.
Come on.
As well as arts. So I did everything. Like you say, I did some modeling at some point. Then I did the publishing, but there has to be a creative outlet for me to feel balanced. So I went for a very long time with being too focused on the formal side of work, and I started to feel very empty. And then when I had my child, whom, by the way, is my motivation for even going into business. I want to go into business, not for many reasons that people want to, because I want to be successful, but I want that success to buy me more time to raise my child, right, who had health issues, right? So when I heard her and I became inspired to start writing, I really thought, let me do this for her. And then I saw the potential that I could do it to the world. And what I love about the internet, especially being South Africans, always being confronted by this economic problem, by this social issue, the internet literally gives us an opportunity to compete on the global scale, where we don't have to be limited by the nonsense of our politicians or the sadness of our background. So that is what I found, that liberty, that freedom, those opportunities that exist. I always sit and count my imaginary money, and I'm thankful what Kay said. If I believe it, if I say it, then that's exactly what I'm going to realize. Yes. In changing the game, you don't get a lot of healthcare workers who think, let me step and do arts. In fact, I'm probably an outcast and nyapapa a bit, for the average nurse, doctor, medical technologist. But yeah, that's how I see things different in my crazy head.
All right, thank you very much. I'm actually inviting the audience. If you guys have any questions for our guests, you can go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much for the podcast, and thank you very much to the guests. I'm not convinced about the township property space, and I'd like you to please unpack more, because I think the returns there tend to be higher than in the more formalized spaces, please.
So, once we turn cut.
Yes, he's not.
So you're not convinced with township you'd like me to unpack more on the returns? I'm just trying to understand the question.
Sorry, my name is Pet. I didn't introduce myself.
What are you saying? You say you're not convinced about?
You said you're not convinced.
I believe there's money to be made in the township economy.
Yes, but
Specifically
what type
property.
of client are you looking at? That's what I'm saying. Who's the type of clients? That's why I say it will depend also with the type of client and what type of investment I'm looking at. She explains it properly when she says some clients, it's not just about the money. It's about, in future, I would like to have a place to live for my children, for my mother, or whatever, which that is understandable. But for someone that is in it for income, I wouldn't advise that. I would pick a different type of investment in property. Like auctions, for example, I had a client who, Serengeti, right?
Yeah.
He bought a stand. He didn't buy a stand. It's an auction. So we do auctions. I sometimes go to auctions for my clients. And I think the property was R1 million because it was an auction. He resold it within a week for 2.5 million rand. That's an investment for me. I don't want to go and spend 500,000 rand with a house that I bought for 750,000 rand. And then get 8 rooms, which I'm going to have someone rent them for 1,700 rand a month. So if you are a person that's looking, I've got a big family. In future, I would like for my children to live here and have a place, then it's good. But if you're a person that's trying to create income for yourself so you can move on and build other businesses, then you're my type of client, because you want to create more businesses. You understand? Using the revenue that you get from property. I would also, if you're a bigger client and you want to invest, I would rather you buy land in a place that's gonna have a higher market value, because the value at Ekasi is not going up. So you can buy a house this year for 750. You're gonna sell it 2 years later. You're gonna sell it for 500,000 rand. Ain't nobody gonna give you a loan, or you're not gonna buy it, sell it for better. If, let's say, something goes wrong and you really need to sell the house, you understand? You're not going to sell it for more, Egas. So it also depends. She's right. I also agree with her. It depends what type of client you're looking at and what's the need for having that property. If the need is, I want to have a house for my children or my children's children, then it's a good place. But if you're young, especially, don't move out of your mother's house. Have a couple of properties first that you buy and resell. By the time you move out of your mother's house, have 3 properties that you've bought and resell. Then you can move out of your mother's house. Because people also, especially black people, have this thing of saying that you're still living at home. You're still living at home. Living at home is actually a better investment than you going out there and paying bond and somebody else's bond and paying back the bank. Do you understand? So you'd rather live at home than invest in property before you go out there. But like I said, to make this shorter, For me, the rooms thing is not an investment for me. It's fun to collect 1,700 rand, but if you've got other businesses and you actually put away the capital that you've spent on that, and until you've reached your profit, then use it for something else. But for bread and money every single month, it's not an investment. It's just a house that you have that's got tenants. That's it. I don't know how you feel about that.
Sure. Sure. I've also seen a significant increase with the price of property. I mean, with what's this? Listings also on private property, Property 24, and also just the people that I converse with. And rent now, Ekas, is a bit. It's not like 1.5 anymore or like 2.5. There are people that are paying like 3 grand, 3.5, 4. So there is an increase, but like you're saying, there's a good balance. But I think it's a good idea because also with your Sunning Hill, your Sandton, your Bryanston, you're paying rates and taxes. You're paying for water, you're paying for this, you're paying for that. Guys, you're literally paying 500 for a manzi and you're done. So I think also there needs to. Okay, yeah, maybe that's not. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a bit better, guys. It's a bit better, and like you're saying, man, it also just depends. But I think it is a good investment. If you want, come see me, Sunning Hill. Let's talk, and you pay.
Yeah,
and I'll advise you.
Question.
Yes. My name is Lebo. I'm from Pretoria, and I'm a property valuer.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say I agree with Lelo when she says on the investment part of it, building rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not quite by the way, I'm very shy and I'm panicking now, so I'm not a public speaker, but I just want to say this as a valuer.
Are you a property valuer?
I'm
private, or you work for a certain institution?
For now, I'm doing property valuations for SA Home Loans.
Okay.
So, you will buy property in Harangua, build a lot of rooms. Number one, you are in Harangua. The location you are at, you may be close to a mall, but if the property is around without buildings, which is like the outside bedrooms, go for 800,000. It doesn't matter how much you've invested in that property. It will go for around 800,000. And when are you building, looking at making 1.5 when you leave the property? I've seen a lot of disappointed clients who want to sell their properties for about 1.2. And when you look at the property, putting it in Archidville, it would be worth that 1.2. But because of where it is, the area, also people, just something I just want people to know, you need to build with a plan in place. So many people do not have plans. They are not able to sell their houses. So please, when you advise clients, also advise on that. And from an architect's point of view, like my husband is an architect, he says that in terms of, now we're dealing with load shedding, guys.
Yeah.
You're gonna overload the electricity that needs to be supplied for that property. So we need to also look at all those areas before we invest in townships. Let's make sure that we have everything in place so that everything can move smoothly, and our investments are actually good for the return that we need. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I say something? It's not every kasi that will give you money. So let's not, shut down the township economy thing. Just say. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I also think so. I think you said you had problems with your property. Did you have problems with the agent or the agency?
Okay, I've been trying to offload it for a while. I bought it for 599, so it's about 600,000 rands. I did a lot of maintenance. It's the most outstanding property on the complex because I put my heart, my money went into it. the current evaluation of a standard house in that property is 740. I feel like just a little bit for all the maintenance and all the glitz and glamour I can sell for 800. But in reality, I'd be very lucky if I can get somebody who takes it for 5.
I think Kay will tell you if sellers how much they want to buy it for versus what you can sell it for is two different things. You get sellers that that tell you that I want my house to be sold for 2 million rand. You're like, ma'am, you bought your house in an area that can sell for 1.5. So, or some people saying, I want to invest here, I want to buy this property, then make it a double story, make it Stanton and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And I tell them you can make it all glamorous as you want. The day you want to sell it, you're never going to sell it for 1.5. So also being careful where you buy your properties and where you invest your properties. You know what I mean? Yes, but yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to close off with, Gwenna?
No, I just want to say thank you for the invite.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No, but otherwise, no.
So how do people find you?
So if you go to brightoncapital.co.za, you will find us there. It will give you our criteria. It will give you everything about us and how you can work with us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a certain type of, industry that you prefer or everybody?
No, everybody except like most lenders, construction. We are we are not fans of construction, but almost everything else.
Why not?
Hey, construction, Hey, construction. Construction has complexities. Complexities that we have decided we don't have a full grip on.
Yeah.
There's too many variables that the business may not earn what they're supposed to earn, or won't get paid what they were promised to get paid in the beginning of the project. So there's just too many variables when it comes to construction. It can get very complicated. So we've just decided, look, let's just leave construction alone. We tried it at some point. We lost a little bit of money. Then we just stepped back away from it again, and we decided, look, let's leave construction to people who understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I feel like you need your own interview so you can dive in more and tell us more on how your industry works.
Maybe next time. Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you would like to say in closing?
Well, the episode is about defining success, right? What I'd like to share with y'all is that I always joked about money when I started real estate, and I said money is everywhere, just pick it up, right? And I'd laugh about that. But what I'm saying is that just after, from varsity, I was struggling to get a job. And I sat there depressed, feeling sorry for myself, but but one morning I just stopped feeling sorry for myself, and the big question was, what else can I do? What else can I do in business? Yeah. But if I start business, I need money most. I asked myself those kind of questions. But that's when I joined real estate, when I was struggling to find employment from my marketing degree. And what this taught me is that everything that you want is behind that decision and that choice. So if you're going to feel sorry for yourself, you'll find yourself in the same place and in cycles because of your unwillingness to get out there and do something, right? So the success is not what people see, but success is internal. Success is what you want for yourself, right? Freedom from things, freedom from people. So everything is possible. Anything that you want to achieve is possible. There's nothing ever too big for you to achieve. I'm a Jesus girl like her. So I always say that God will give you...
Popular.
Yeah. I always say that God will give you based on what you allow him to give you. So if your thoughts, if you limit him, he'll give you exactly that. If you say, at least Shem, mangahola 3,000 is fine, he'll give you that 3,000. Dream bigger.
Do you think success is money?
Nah. Whoa. We need money.
Gwenna, do you think success is money? I actually look at you on purpose.
It's not just money.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, if you can get money doing something you like, I know, then it's golden, you know. But if you do something you like and it's not making money, I say go do something else that makes money, then come back to this, you know. But money is not the end all and be all.
Do you think people respect you more though if you have money? And be honest.
Yes.
Oh no, you're gonna change the world.
No, money is very important in all societies. I was going to say our societies, but wherever you go, mureki ki mureki, and he is respected. So wherever you go, the person that is the one that has the money, people will respect that, because as much as I say money is not important, I want to have that money. And people look at other people who do have that money and be like, I want that. You know, how do I get that? And in asking how do I get that, they want to know how that person got it, is instead of trying to figure out what can I do? What is my way of getting it? Because if I do what you do, I'll never be successful in the way you're successful, because I'm not you. You know, that's why it's important to try find you and do you and make money out of that. But money is important. You can't get around that.
We still need more women in business.
Do we?
We still need more women in business?
We do. I'm just going to talk about our space and where we are in our company. We definitely do need a lot more women businesses. Our businesses, majority of the people that come to Brighton Capital, it's mostly men in mid late 40s and older. So as much as we like to punt youth entrepreneurship and things like that, I think once you're in it, you get to understand that entrepreneurship is difficult. It's difficult to make it when you're young. That's why you find a lot of entrepreneurs are in their late 40s, 50s, where they are now becoming successful, because it does take that 10, 20 years to build that track record, to make those networks, to get those connections, and now like, okay, cool, let's make this billion rand. So women, definitely a lot more women are required, which is we don't get enough women coming through our door. Yeah.
Me? Yes.
In closing?
Oh, well, on my side, I just want us to take the time and invest in our kids' education. And as I was thinking today, and when we were preparing for your book, what you said about personal branding, I really want us to. I want to see us change the way things that are done, especially on YouTube content creators, as businesses coming forward to partner with content creators of South Africa, put them on the pedestal that the United States and everybody else has done with their content creators, do affiliate partnership. It breaks my heart when I see that people are still doing views. And then I'm happy that you did this kind of an event where you brought content creators as well as business people, so that we can say, okay, we have a similar goal. I want to push sales. You have an audience. Let's come together. Let's monetize. Let's change the way that things have been done. Yes, and invest in our children.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming through, Gwena. Thank you for taking your time out, Kay and V. In closing, I feel like I have literally learned a lot, especially when it comes to, and now I'm interested in finding out more on your funding, on how you fund SMEs, who qualifies and all of that, and I'm also more interested now in, real estate, you know what I mean? And I'm interested in publishing authors. So I've learned a lot, and I'd like to say thank you guys, and I will see you on the next episode. I love you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.